Hello and welcome to the 49th lecture on the history of modern India, the Shah Bano case. It is the case which stirred Indian society over the issue of Uniform Civil Code. It was the first crisis faced by Rajiv Gandhi as Prime Minister. In this video, we are going to discuss what was this case exactly and how Rajiv Gandhi, with all his majority, missed the opportunity to bring the Uniform Civil Code. An elderly man named Muhammad Ahmad Khan had filed a petition in Supreme Court against a lower court's decision demanding him to pay monthly maintenance to his divorced wife, Shah Bano. Khan contended that he had fulfilled his duties by paying Shah Bano an allowance for 3 months, the period specified under Islamic law. M.A. Khan had first filed the appeal in 1981. It took 4 years for the case to come to judgment. Dismissing the appeal on 23rd April 1985, the Supreme Court confirmed that Khan would have to continue to pay Shah Bano maintenance as fixed by the High Court at the curious figure of Rs 179.20 per month. In rejecting Khan's appeal, the Supreme Court invoked Section 125 of the Criminal Procedure Code, whereby a divorced woman was entitled to claim an allowance from her ex-husband if he had taken another wife, as Khan had, and if she had not remarried and could not otherwise maintain herself, as was the case with Shah Bano. In their opinion, the explanations to the Criminal Procedure Code showed unmistakably that Section 125 overrides the personal law if there is any conflict between the two. Then the judges went beyond the specifics of the case to make some general remarks. They deplored the fact that Article 44 of the Constitution, mandating a uniform civil code, has remained a dead letter. They observed that a belief seems to have gained ground that it is for the Muslim community to take a lead in the matter of reforms of their personal law. A common civil code will help the cause of national integration by removing disparate loyalties to laws which have conflicting ideologies. Muslims took exceptions to the judges, saying that it is alleged that the fatal point in the Islam is the degradation of women. Muslim clerics criticized the judgment as an attack on Islam. Mosques up and down the country resounded with the voices of mullahs and maulavis denouncing Shah Bano and the Supreme Court judgment. On the other hand, some Muslim scholars supported the verdict, or at any rate held it to be non-inconsistent with the scripture, where there existed ample and respectable Islamic authority for the proposition that the divorcing husband must provide maintenance until his ex-wife's death or remarriage. 3 months after the Supreme Court judgment, an MP named G.M. Banatwala moved a private member's bill in the Parliament seeking to exempt Muslims from the purview of Section 125. The bill was opposed in the House by the Minister of State for Home Affairs, Arif Muhammad Khan, representing, so to say, the progressive Muslim point of view. He defended the court's judgment by quoting Maulana Azad, who was at once the most famous nationalist Muslim and an acknowledged authority on the scriptures. The Maulana had written that the Quran takes occasion to re-emphasize that proper consideration should be shown to the divorced woman in every circumstance. Khan further argued that we should have better practices these days, and only if downtrodden are uplifted, the Islamic tenets can be said to have been followed and justice done. Arif Muhammad Khan had the support of the Prime Minister. With the Congress voting against it, the bill was defeated. However, the debate carried on outside the house. In her native Indore, the 75-year-old Shah Bano was denounced by conservatives as an infidel. Demonstrations were held outside her house, and neighbors were asked to ostracize her. On 15th November, Shah Bano succumbed to the pressure, affixing her thumb impression to a statement saying that she disavowed the Supreme Court verdict, that she would donate the maintenance money to charity, and that she opposed any judicial interference in Muslim personal law. Towards the end of 1985, the Congress party lost a series of by-elections in northern India. Commentators saw a Shah Bano factor at work, with rivals of the Congress whipping up religious fervor by attacking the Supreme Court in constituencies with large Muslim populations. Reports of the alienation alarmed Rajiv Gandhi, who within his party and cabinet began increasingly taking the advice of conservative Z.A. Ansari rather than the liberal Arif Khan. In a 3-hour speech in Parliament, Ansari attacked the Supreme Court verdict as prejudiced, discriminatory, and full of contradictions. He added maliciously, the judges were small men who were incompetent to interpret Islamic law. By now, it was not merely Shah Bano who had succumbed to the pressure. The Congress itself had accorded recognition to the fundamentalists as the sole spokesperson of their community. In February 1986, the government introduced a Muslim Women Bill which sought to overturn the Supreme Court's verdict by taking Muslim personal law out of the purview of the Criminal Procedure Code. The bill placed the burden of supporting the divorced wife on her own relatives. All the husband was obliged to do was provide 3 months' maintenance. In May, the bill passed into law, with the Congress issuing a whip to its members to vote for it. Abandoned by his leader, his party, and his government, Arif Muhammad Khan resigned, telling an interviewer that with this new legislation, Indian Muslim women will be the only women to be denied maintenance anywhere in the world. The controversy sparked by the Shah Bano case was in many ways a reprise of the debates over the reform of Hindu personal laws 3 decades previously. Then too, attempts to enhance gender equity had been bitterly resisted by priests claiming to speak for the community as a whole. The claim was tested and found wanting when Jawaharlal Nehru fought and won the 1952 elections on, among other things, the issue of the Hindu Code Bill. Faced with a comparable situation in 1985-86, Rajiv Gandhi already had the support of 400 MPs. A reform of Muslim personal law to enhance the rights of women was comfortably within reach. So was a gender-sensitive common civil code, as asked for by the Constitution. What was lacking was a Prime Minister consistently committed to the social reform. For as a high official in Rajiv Gandhi's government was to recall later, in the handling of the aftermath of the Shah Bano case, the young Prime Minister was suddenly overwhelmed by the political system. His initiatives in the Punjab and Assam had shown boldness and independence. But here, after first supporting the reformists, he had given way to the conservatives for fear of losing the Muslim votes. And so, Rajiv Gandhi, the statesman, started transforming into a politician. The next logical consequence of appeasing Muslim minority was to placate the Hindu majority, and this led to opening of locks in Ayodhya, which was to have repercussions lasting longer than Rajiv Gandhi himself. In our next video, we will discuss the controversy at Ayodhya and the judgment of 1986. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and comment because discussion is solution. For more discussions, please subscribe our channel.